Any effective system of governance depends on its ability to represent the people. The United States doesn't have any say in what happens in China.
So what would you call the main strength of China's system?
The biggest strength of it is its capacity to think long term. It has a mentality of always knowing that you can't really think about the present unless you've got some idea of what you think the future might be and should be. It's also characterized by, in some ways the opposite, which is pragmatism. And that is, you have to be able to relate to the situation and to change as effectively as possible. Thirdly, it's extremely rooted in society. No country demonstrates greater continuity in its governments than China. The problem with Western democracy is that elections take place once every so many years, and really people aren't involved very much in between that. Whereas here, it's an ongoing process. So you had the 2 sessions. It isn't a rubber stamp because the people who are involved, this is a very dynamic form of governance.
How come China has this representative system and why it's effective?
Any effective system of governance depends on its ability to represent the people. How you then try and represent the people, how you express that representation, that's a different question. And you can have something like the typical Western democracy, or you can have something like the Chinese system. China's gone through this process of extraordinary transformation. The extraordinarily effective governance would not have been possible if the people hadn't gone along with it. So the idea that there's only one form of governance which is really legitimate, which is the Western attitude, I think it's an unsustainable position.
What is your understanding of the whole process, people's democracy?
It's certainly very different from the Western style of democracy. Ultimately, democracy is about representing the people, involving the people, and creating the best form of governance, the most acceptable and the most successful form of governance.
The US government and probably many of the US elites will not recognize China as a democracy. But do you think that matters?
Well, does it matter? In one sense it doesn't matter because, fortunately the United States doesn't have any say in what happens in China. It wishes it did, it tries to, but it's not really very effective at it. I think that in another sense it does matter because basically what the argument is that China's governing system is illegitimate because it doesn't represent the people. I'm arguing that it does represent the people, but the form of representation is very different from what happens in the West.